Jimenez coming to you live from Yorba Linda, California. I'm partially in the sun there. And I'm here at Yorba Linda Boulevard and Imperial Highway, of course, where we hold most of our rallies. Sorry for the camera disruption. But right when I went live, I noticed where my head was partially in the sun. We're here on behalf of all Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District parents to make sure that we get out the final votes to make sure that we get Todd Frazier and Rich Engel elected into the school board. We need to get Carrie Buck and Karen Freeman off of the board so that we can get back to education. We also have Ryan Bent, who's running for city council for the city of Yorba Linda. We need to make sure he gets in there. All the candidates has our best interest in mind for those of us that live in Yorba Linda. I'm going to do my best to see if I can get a couple of candidates to come up here, but just understand that we have only a couple days left. We can vote in person right now in the PYL area, or of course you can wait until Tuesday and make sure you get your vote in on Tuesday. But so darn important that we get this done. We need to get these guys across the finish line. We feel good about how many doors we've knocked on. I talked to Rich about it. I talked to Todd. I talked to the people that are responsible for helping them with their campaigns. They have social media ads that are popping up all over the place. I've seen a couple myself. And so I do believe that we have a strong presence, but that doesn't mean that we don't run through the finish line, that we don't run through the tape. We have to make sure and continue all the way through. If you get an opportunity to comment if you have any questions, because all the candidates are here. Rich Engel is over there, Fraser's over here talking to Linda Cohen, I believe. We got Leander Blades, we got Ryan Bent here. If you have any questions, make sure I put them in the comments. I'll try to get them to come on camera. Some of these guys are pretty shy in front of the camera, but I'll see what I can do. As soon as I get somebody's attention here, somebody will look at me and come grab me. But you know what's on, you know what's at stake here, and that is, again, our children, and not just our children, because there are some parents who are here that pull their parents pull their kids out of the school district because of the lack of education and the indoctrination that we believe has been going on, not in the curriculum, because the curriculum has been approved through the district and the school board members, but it's what's happening that's behind in the darkness, in the gray areas, when nobody's watching. There's things that are going on, and we've been able to see some of those things. I showed you a book that was at the library for Yorba Linda High School that was discovered and checked out by a student, and the parent found out about it, contacted Yorba Linda principal, I guess the assistant principal, who then immediately pulled the book out and then contacted the district, and the books were, the libraries got there to make sure the book was in it, was not in some of the other libraries. So this is what happens when parents are involved, when parents are paying attention, when they're busy looking at what's in the libraries. We have teachers. One of the teachers here that I featured on many of the videos that I've run, she's spoken at the school board meetings where she has read portions of the book that a teacher gave her students, her I think it was her daughter, if I'm not mistaken, and it was appalling. And those were the things that she could read and didn't use the full words and the full sentences, but it was pornography. And so we need that, some of the things that are happening. We have issues in regard to U.S. history and history teachers that are teaching bad history, false history about our country. And we want to make sure that that's not done. The curriculum says teach X, and the teachers are unfortunately teaching Y and N and P and Q, which we don't want, and LGBTQ, which again, that's for the parents of the LGBTQ students. That's not for the teachers to teach children who are not dealing with issues that have to do with questions about their gender. That is for the parent to deal with, or their grandparents to deal with. Again, not teachers, not coaches, not librarians, not counselors. counselors. The state feels different. We have the state who's put in a couple laws that says if you don't affirm a child's gender, their belief gender, that you can be arrested as a parent. They want to push bills and laws through that threaten parents that are like that. And we want to have a school district that fights against Sacramento when it comes to issues like that. We want to have school board members and district superintendents who fight against mandates regarding masking and vaccines and any other kind of nonsense. Of allowing boys to dress in girls' locker rooms and vice versa, or boys and men competing against girls in sports. We want superintendents and we want school board members to fight against that kind of stuff, no matter what Sacramento says, no matter what the federal government says, because we know what is right and we know what is wrong. We want to get back to education, so we become people that we want to get on the school board. I want to get Rich, but I don't get an opportunity to talk to Rich very often. Rich is an attorney. He has a business that he runs, and so during the campaign, our schedules have not meshed to have a discussion. Oh, I see him over there. He's on the phone. I will get a hold of him, and we will make sure and have a discussion with Rich about how he sees his race going, and some of the things that he's, some of the questions that he may have been asked as he's walked door to door. Because again, the choice is spend time with Andy or knock on doors, and the important thing is knocking on doors and contacting people and making sure they understand the issues in the area, whether it's area 4 or area 5, that those parents need to be educated as to what's happening in the schools and the lack of education that's going on in the schools. And we need to make sure. I'm going to yell and hopefully I don't blow your ears out. Hey, Rick! Rick! Rick, Mingo! He's busy taking pictures. Hey, Rick! He hates the camera. You don't have to stay on long. What am I doing? You're gonna put this on. Oh, and we're live now. This side.
What do you want me to do?
Just talk to me. Oh, just want to know how your campaign's doing. Okay, there you go. All right. Come over here a little bit, but there you go. How many doors do you think you guys have knocked on? I personally walked over 2,000 doors. You, me alone? Yes. Wow, no wonder I can't get over. That's so great. What do you think from knocking on that many doors? What do you think I don't want to say the chances, but I don't want to lose the chance. What do you think what do you think's going on? What do you think?
I think there's a lot of unity against all of the political agendas being pushed on our kids. I think there's a lot of unity about bringing Placentia Yorba Linda School District back up where it belongs. Get us back in the national rankings where we belong, get the test scores back where it belongs, get the academics back in the schools. I think there's a lot of unity. There's a lot of people that are about that, and by knocking on those doors, some of the people didn't even know there was one, right? Some of the people didn't even know that the school board is in the elected position. They didn't know that they really had a choice in that. They could make a change. And after informing, they were excited. They're like, where is it? Right? It's on your ballot, right? It's at the end of your ballot, right? I'm not running for Senate, but it is on your ballot. You have a choice. Anything they could change, you don't have to sell.
So there are a lot of questions about CRT and what that is, and what it means a little bit more about what they can do.
CRT, there was comments about CRT that, again, there was unity that a lot of people in CRT and that CRT is just a racist agenda that politicians are trying to push on us to divide us. And once they divide us, they create chaos, and then that's what leads to the So again, I would say 80-90% understood CRT to the extent that it's a divisive tool that creates hatred and division among kids, right? Because they can't change people like you and I, right? So they attack you.
And then there's it's not as prevalent as maybe in some other school districts. That you feel even with some of the bad things that happen in our schools, we're surrounded by a lot of schools that a lot of issues that we're trying to keep from coming to our school. And so that's the thing, is that we have so much happening around us that if we don't vote you and cooperate within, then it will eventually come to our school. indoctrination of voice changing from talking.
I don't have enough money, but if I had a dollar for every person, including teachers in LA County, LA Unified Schools, that said we got to do everything we can to avoid turning into LA Unified Schools. A lot of people told me that. I never really equated that with Orange County, but a lot of people who understand, who moved to our area away from LA County, very fearful, and that's the reason they moved here. Teachers in LA Unified can't a lot of LA Unified, whether they make the noise or not, because they're scared of the union, and they told me that personally. It's not something I made up. So they are aware, and they're very fearful, and LA Unified just happens to be the closest to them. And the district is the biggest problem that's struggling.
Well, the reason I asked that question because I have interviewed candidates from Chino or Unified District, and they are fighting hard, but at the same time, being attacked. And all the people that support it is a lot more serious of a business than I thought it was. Like now that I kind of creeped into the underbelly of have you found it to be a little bit more? Are you shocked by how bad it can be as far as what's happening?
We see it nationally, we see it locally. There is an element in our society that does not believe in liberty. They do not believe in freedom. They don't want you to have a choice. They want you to follow their agenda. And if you don't follow their agenda, they attack you. They don't attack you with logic. They attack you with screaming and violence. Right? And so it doesn't surprise me at all. We see it nationally in the news. We see it locally here, where someone like myself wants to talk intelligently about an issue. Someone else just wants to scream and yell. So what's the logic? And they don't really know that. Right? There's no logic for CRT. There is logic for teaching worldwide cultural studies. When you teach them, there is logic for understanding other cultures. There's absolutely no logic unless you look at political elites for introducing it and shredding racism.
So as you go from door to door, you may have already talked about it, but what is the
It's not, I'd say, a lot of people are very, very concerned about CRT and what it means for our district and for our children. And then, of course, for our community, because the children become our community. The other ones are a lot of people have either gone through Placentia Yorba Linda School District, and they're very proud of being part of this district. Their kids are grandkids are going to this district, and as their grandkids are going to this district, they see a substantial change in the academic industries. And so it wasn't them. Generation. And they're saying, what? This was going on when I was in school. And so it's very, very clear. It's glaring to the people who have been part of this district for years and years, decades. And now they're looking at the youth, the little ones, the grandkids, and the kids, and they're saying, wait a minute, I'm going to put my kid in private school. A lot of that conversation. Right? And so it's not something that really you have to just think about. They see it every day. Their kids coming home. The only reason I got involved is because I saw my kids coming home. And so it's not, it just isn't surprising. Right? It's very clear to a lot of people.
The last thing I just want to talk about, Dan, there is a skill that I think you bring to our school. Not to mention, I don't know you're a great guy. Very articulate, very smart. It's very important to me to get to know you personally, so I know they have that. But your skills as an attorney, do you think that's really important?
I think it is. I mean, they need somebody, just like Todd and Accountant, they need somebody that looks at writing all day, every day, and tries to create a favorable outcome. Right? So if the data's bad, then we have to change it. So as an interpreter, I do all the and I read documents. Right? And you go to school, you need a critical eye on these things. You don't need school board members that show up in a meeting once a month and check a box. Right? And this is on the agenda, so check yes. Right? I think that's just as foolish as people going down and out. All we do is right? What's the really stand for? And that's the same thing we get we need school board members that can look at things analytically, critically, so I mean, every single thing that I want to do is going to be when it comes. But I'm sure going to make the effort. And my skill set, I guess I'm just like 4 years. That's exactly what I'm doing.
I appreciate you very much. We're happy to have you. Thank you. Very positive. Unfortunately, I don't live in the area that you are running for, but a lot of people do. According to your team.
Thanks.
Lord, man, we love God. We love bringing morality and love back.
Trying. I'll start with more business.
Thank you. I need my mic back other than walking off. Yeah, I just talking to people back here is that, one of the things that's important to understand is that we are not only fighting, maybe one or two bad teachers, but we're fighting against Sacramento. We're fighting against the teachers' unions, and that is just, it seems to be, I don't want to say it's being oversaid, because I know I talk about it a lot, but it really is one of the biggest hurdles we have is we have a very strong teachers union who has a lot of power and a lot of money, and it has the government support in some of these things that we are fighting. And so we need bold men, some of these litigation attorneys that has the ability, who have gone before, powerful people. He's a business attorney, and sometimes you're going against money, but money can't necessarily buy you everything. You have to be able to come with the facts. You have to come with an ability to show the facts and the evidence so that it makes sense to a judge or to a jury, that these are the things that need to happen and need to be done to make change in whatever it is you're doing. And I think that's really important. When we're looking at a candidate, does the candidate bring a skill that will benefit us going against the powers of the teachers unions and the power of Sacramento? And again, just a few teachers. I always want to say that because one of the things that people love to say is that the PYL parents here, that somehow we hate teachers. We don't hate teachers. It just so happens that the word teacher is in teachers union, so it can give the appearance, because we talk about teachers union so much, that we're against teachers. We are not. We are for teachers, because there's so many teachers that come to us and say, we hate what the teachers union's doing. We just heard Rick say that he's, talked to teachers that are in other districts and other cities like Los Angeles who hate what's happening in the schools. But they've been pressured or bullied into doing whatever it is the teachers unions want, and to keep their jobs, they feel that they have to do it. And so those are some of the things that we're fighting up against. I'm going to see if I can get Ryan. I saw him. He's a pretty big guy, so he's hard to miss. But I know that I have Ryan here. Already interviewed him, so you can just look back if I can't get a hold of him, where you can find an interview about Ryan's history, what his history is with the city of Yorba Linda. He's lived here for a long time. He had a part in building the Yorba Linda library. If you've ever been able to go to the Yorba Linda library, you see a beautiful and he brings a skill set from the universities, where he's been on the board of education for the universities. Let me see if I can. Hey, Rich. Hey, Rich. I'm so sorry. Was you able to get a pod come over? I know he's talking to you. We'll get Todd over here for one thing. He's got, it looks like he's almost over. He's in the conversation. I know I'm really rude. I put these people away from me. Screaming at them, yelling at them. Where we're at, we only have 2 days. I know that you're only seeing about half the people. We have people on the corners over here. We have people on the edges that go all the way down the side of us here. Maybe if I can turn the camera, you see we have people that go in that direction. We got people going all over this direction. And so it's a bigger crowd than it looks, but we're just spread out. What I want you to see is the support that they have from parents that are in the district. And we're very close. Hey, Todd! Todd! Very good, we're still alive.
Hey, we're still live. What's going on, people? Get it up.
In that honor, hold it up here. That's probably the best. You have to be on this side, because
I know, we gotta get your side, right?
There. Now I'm
there.
You're downhill.
Oh, I there. Hey, everybody, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
You know, I'm looking great.
Yeah.
transportation collection, it's been an experience that I'm honestly very glad that I've had the chance to see behind the curtains. I think there's so much that needs to be done, and I didn't realize how much more active for us to make the impact that we make in all facets.
How many houses do you think that you and your team have visited in this area?
We've hit probably 93 to 94% of them, which is like 10,000. It's a lot, and I couldn't have done it. Further involved that it will give their time to, I mean, like yourself, to doing stuff just to get the word out. We couldn't do it. We were up against too much to try and one
In all those homes that you visited, and we had a conversation, we had a great interview with everybody that's spread the word. Where your thoughts are on yourself, I'm sure we're going to talk about it. I just want to know, what do you think, having visited all these homes in your area, is the biggest issue that is concerning the parents or even the grandparents of people?
So the longest conversations that I've gotten into, honestly, is about where's the money. Because, and that's the thing that I kind of narrow. You know, you start your conversation with the first three houses you hit. You know, like, these are the things I think they want to talk about. But when you get into it and you start mentioning, like, specifically what I mentioned, you know, there's all this money coming into the district, yet we have to, parents are having to pay money for extracurriculars over and above to do that, even for like the ceramic classes that some kids are in, and bands and things like that. They're having to put up extra money in a month. And my brother was literally just in town to get a book done. And I asked them, I said, what do you guys have to pay? They're like, what do you guys have to pay? I said, no, I know. But what is, like, what's the extra? What do you guys have to put in? And they get, like, their football teams, here, there, and they're not like a huge school. So I look at those things and I say, there's something there's like a system that is organized that's not working. Outside of that, I think there's a lot that needs to be getting our students educated and make them successfully integrate into our.
Yeah, I mean, from zero, where we're brothers, to I have a son who plays lacrosse, and cheerleading, and I think we're in the thousands of dollars in freshman year that we paid. And it could be up to $10,000 that we paid.
Over the course of 4 years for a student. I don't know what that means. We've got 2 freshmen, sports and seniors. And it's just, I mean, my wife and I are texting back and forth. Wait, did you pay the basketball game? Oh, I thought you paid that. And it's another $600. Did you pay the football? No, okay. It's just, and it's just constant. But we want our kids to be able to experience that. We want to be able to be part of the system. And there's a lot of kids that this is going to compete. So there's something about that in this whole thing. And I'm really focused on finding a lot of that, trying to make that financial so that our students are able to participate in every facet.
So as I was talking to Rich, I was bringing up the fact that he's an attorney, and that skill set that he brings in looking at documents and even combating, the teachers' unions in the state of California, Sacramento.
Or just logical arguments about statements,
right? So we have that handled, and then we have the CPA that we are going to have. That skill set is so needed. We have our own people that are supposed to be coming in members that we both have been in the room and they've put their the keynote presentation or PowerPoint presentation up, and I'm not a numbers person, and I look at that and I go, that doesn't make any sense. As a person who's skilled in looking at numbers, how do those numbers look to you?
No, it's the same response. When you look at these kind of reports, they're a surface level what's the breakdown of how much referees cost, facilities cost, how much you extra things related to that, and what's being put in that category? So, and I think a lot of that goes back to actually in the accounting business. Say, you know, and there may not be like some hidden somebody's stealing, siphoning money. That's not what I'm saying is happening. But what I am saying is there's a lot of inefficiencies and overspending in areas that we can't see. We can't see from an agenda that has a $12,000 line item for a playworks company to teach our elementary kids to play. We don't know what that all entails. How many days is it? What is the actual rate here? How much children someone gets versus how much supplies come in? What's the marketing supplies to that system? So anyway, there's those kind of things that we have to get into the details and the gritty. And I understand this. Okay, this should lead us to these three things. Where are these three things? That somebody else would know.
So just shift gears. We have a cabal, I call it, the teacher fees. The NEA, National Trade Association, the CTA, and the APLE, which is the Association of Placentia Yorba Linda Educators. Mistake me wrong.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a mouth.
But they're all in cahoots to build websites, not even secret websites. There's websites that teachers have been encouraged. I don't know if they are yet. I just know that they're encouraged. They have a QR code that will send them to another website that teaches about sex education in regard to LGBTQ, and tells them how to fight things from the parents and teaches them how to sex properly so they don't get caught. And it's crazy. And it says NEA at the top. And then on this left-hand margin it says CTA, and then a little bit deeper you can find things like the APLE owner. They're all partners of that. My question is, and telling you all that, is that they're pretty powerful. They have a lot of money. They have the support of Sacramento behind them. Are you bold enough and strong enough to be able to fight against what it is today they're trying to do with the kids? We are an indoctrination.
Well, I wouldn't be willing to put it that way. I think the thing that I keep coming back to is I'm fighting for what's what I taking our children down the path. And it's not actually productive. And I'll fight all day long. And the things that we're seeing, like the websites and the purpose of it, seems to be to circumvent the parental rights and the parental authority that all parents should have for their kids. That's where I see the biggest, most broad definition of what are we looking to get rid of. And it's this concept of your parents don't understand. Your parents shouldn't know this so that you can go on doing what's best for you. Your children. You don't let children who are kids and trained decide their future before they even understand how to interact with their peers in a way that's respectful, on authority kind of thing. But there's a level of you're a parent and you teach them how to do these things. And as soon as you separate that, you say, your parents are what's best. Oh, your parents don't know that that's what's good. Then you children that get together. Right? So that's where it all goes. That I think is wrong.
My follow-up question to that is that we have two board members that we are hoping that you're going to replace you that have been taking tens of thousands of dollars in teacher fees support. I don't know because I wasn't around. I was like many parents. We didn't pay attention. We assumed that people in the school board loved kids enough that they were going to take care of our kids. And we found out that they didn't. They're harming them. So I don't know how they started. They may have started in that fashion that they wanted to do what was right, but got sucked in either through money or the power of the teachers doing that kind of stuff. Are you strong enough to push that away?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, because when they come at you and say, hey, you know you have this nonprofit, think? Can you just like look the other way as we bring in these speakers, that kind of stuff?
Well, I think it's ironic when we talk about exclusive integrity, which is plastered on the top of our side.
Right.
Honesty and integrity still matter. So if it still matters, when did it not? And basically what you're saying is your integrity keeps you from doing what's best for yourself.
And we're back.
Hey, we're back. Because it's not that. So are you strong enough to say, oh, this might benefit me, but there's going to be some fallout that probably isn't good for the district or for the kids or for the teachers. Let's go with it anyways. That's a big question. And I think the things that I've seen, just like I started with saying, this experience of seeing behind the curtain in politics, the people that have been in it so I think it's a difference to what that actually like. Because they just don't want to care and want to just trust them. So you don't get into all of a sudden. Cool. All personal benefits, let's just do that. It's one little thing at a time. So the thing that I'm honestly I think it's a really good thing for Rich and myself is there is a group of people that are willing to call out things that they may see that either we don't see, or if there's this shift of, well, that doesn't seem like that's really in the best interest of Rich. Are you sure? And if we can explain to say, well, yeah, this is what's in the best interest, and here's the reason, then you absolutely, that's what it's for. That's why we're there. So, how can I do this? Thanks for us to protect us. And I think that the things that we've seen with prior board members and these two current board members is the gray areas of getting lighter and not mixed.
Right.
So, and I'm in the same place with the same people. It's just, and maybe there's a level of them manipulated by other people, and they don't realize it. True. But it's awesome.
You know, I'm really looking forward to seeing you on the and I do have to also say that a lot of parents out here, including myself, who will continue to hold the school board accountable.
Yeah.
And I think that you will put absolutely. I can honestly say that there are two board members, not three. I think I've even called out the number from time to time. That I just say, did you really need to say that? Or why aren't you speaking up? And I think that you want that from us. And I'm encouraged that we have selected the right guys. It could have been girls too. Sure. Don't get me wrong. I know that you guys have the skills and things that you don't throw up in a ball and stuff your thumb and start crying.
If you can't take criticism and slander, I don't think Rich or I would have made it to this point, honestly, because there's so much emotion and pushback from the opposition that has no basis in reality. It's just name calling, and if we couldn't handle that, we would have that. So I welcome the accountability, and I welcome the criticism because that's how we get better. When I play sports, you don't get better by just saying, "Yeah, you're great." You watch the film and you say, "Man, I really put up there."
It's gotta be tough.
Good. You get better.
Yeah, school's got to be tough.
Yep.
I talk about this all the time that they've lowered the grades to such a level that if my kids come to me and they complain, I go, "Listen, if you can't pass this nonsense, then I've done something serious wrong."
Well, and it's so much effort. Are you putting in the effort?
Right.
How many homework assignments are missing?
Right.
10. Okay. That's a problem.
Yes. Give me your phone.
Right? So, yeah.
So one last thing, and I can't let you go without talking about it for a brief second, and that is about this other point. Yes, it's fight on saying you wouldn't. You got all the endorsements.
Yes.
What?
All the endorsements that I tried for, I got. Every endorsement that Steven Slauson and I went up against each other, I got.
And more stuff has come out, and I've broadcast about it and talked about it on my show. That I don't necessarily care that he runs a weed dispensary. I don't care. It's the fact that he lies about running a weed dispensary. It's the lying about what his business is or businesses
pastor,
or pastor.
whatever. Yeah, I 100%. I don't care what you do right now necessarily. I think it's probably not a good idea if
What's
you're
better
trying
school
to.
for weed or weed?
Right. And the big question is, if you're going to hide information and lie about, you're going to say that you're going to drop out and you're not, you're going to, if you're asked point blank about certain situations and you say no, and then there's evidence that it's true, what else are you not willing to do? I mean, that comes back to integrity. And honestly, when you're voting for somebody that's going to represent you, you want to know that they're going to represent you with integrity. And if I hadn't had the face-to-face with him and shook his hand and he says, whoever gets the OCDOP will be the candidate, which I was willing to say, if I don't get it, that's great. Support you. And then he said, I'm ready for yours.
Well, my biggest thing is I said that you guys are called trustees. If I can't trust you, how can I expect you to be a trustee? So it's really important that you understand that fact.
It's true. Well, and the representation of the community needs to be honest and upfront, and we need to be able to communicate in a very broad way with all of them. Types of people that you're promoting. And that's the thing that I come back to and say, we need to be representative of the community, and we need to represent all of them.
Pastor Jack Gibbs had a great discussion today. So, and he was talking about the United States of America. And it was based on biblical teachings and morals and that kind of stuff. That our country was based on a biblical, God-centered biblical following. And he says, and it doesn't mean that we're a Christian country. We have atheists, we have Mormons, but it's the how it runs is based on the teachings that are moral and understanding that we can all be different. We can all be of different religions. That's how we want to be. And in the very same manner that we understand that this is not going to be a Christian country. Right. It is that we need to just bring it back to education, good morals, and everything that makes this country great, and bring it into our schools. So,
and parental rights, and medical freedom for all of our students. Like we are a free country. We are a democratic republic where we all are treated equally, and that's what we want to get back.
I'm looking forward to having you on board.
Yes, I appreciate it.
I'm so happy to be partnered with you and trying to get this
done. I
done.
appreciate everything you've done. You and Edia and everybody here. This is awesome. These people are willing to just be out here and we're just standing saying vote, and these people are who we support.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Like we are so ready.
It's so odd that we have to fight to have our children educated. It's so strange, but we're here.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
Love you, man.
Thanks.
All right, take care. Just give me your mic so you don't go off. Well, I just don't want you to go bathroom.
That would be interesting. Have a good one, everybody.
All right, my friends. We again are here over at Yorba Linda Boulevard and Imperial Highway, and a great deal of parents. A number of parents are out here fighting for our kids. Rich and Todd here. Right, you made it just not like. Again, you're going to want to vote for him because he's got the same integrity, the same goals, the same desire to make our community better. So make sure when you are checking the boxes, if you're in Yorba Linda, you're going to want to make sure and check the box for Ryan Bent. If you are in Area 4 or Area 5, we're going to look for either Todd Frazier's name or Rich Eagle's name to make sure to check the box. And we are going to change the school district for the better, get back to education. All right, my friends. Love you guys. God bless. Thank you for watching. And tell your friends and family members who live in the area that who they need to vote for. And it's these gentlemen right that I just got done interviewing right behind me. That's the word I was looking for. All right, my friends. We'll talk later. Take care.